Let's talk about Saturn stationing retrograde on June 29th in the sign of Pisces. This is always, whenever Saturn stations, it's always an important marker of the year. Saturn is about hard work. He's about focusing. He's about discipline. He's about rules. He is the planet that you don't want to invite to the party. Usually when he stations, it's a very important check-in time. It's a check-in time in order to see where you need to focus, where additional work needs to be going. And in this particular case, I sense it has to do with healing. How is your healing journey going? When I was thinking about the full picture of 2024, it has a lot to do with healing and finding spirituality, finding new sources to fill our cups. And I think that Saturn station is a big part of that. So let's just also kind of think a little bit more about Saturn and Pisces, because as Saturn is going to station and he's going to turn to move backwards, he's really going to illuminate that sign and illuminate all the, as he stations, he's radiating, and potentially touching places in our astrology that are connecting to this Piscean energy. And just for context, Saturn has been going forward ever since it was early November 4th specifically is when he went direct. And now on June 29th, he goes back. And, Saturn stations forward and back one time every year. He is going to not go forward again until later in the year. It's not going to be until it's approximately November 17th. And he'll go direct again. So this period from the end of June until that, sort of late November is going to be a time for us to muscle up, a time to really kind of work on all the developments and initiations and themes that presented ever since November of last year. And some of them may be good and some of them may be bad. I think that in general, Saturn going through Pisces is really kind of forcing many of us to go through a new sense of reality, a new reality check, a new kind of, belief system, we're trying to sharpen up our lens. Like Saturn is trying to cut through the delusion and illusion factor of Pisces. So it's really trying to get you to see things clearer, to kind of wipe away, the fog. And sometimes that can be painful. And there is a piece of Saturn retrograding where you might feel a little bit, kind of defeated, or a little bit like not really looking to do what is necessary to do. But we have to be brave, and that's part of where the nodes are. The north node is in Aries, which is really asking us to be brave, and the south node is in Libra, which is asking us to kind of break away from making other people happy and focus on ourselves. And it's a very individualistic, kind of thing that the nodes are trying to lean us into. And Saturn stationing is going to be bringing that into, into the mix. The other thing, and I'm looking at the actual alignments as Saturn is stationing, which, as I said, it's on June 29th. The moon is going to be in Aries, and the moon is going to be touching Chiron, another marker of that healing. Like, where are you in your healing journey? How have you been healing since late last year? And where has 2024 taken you on your healing journey? Have you been healing others and not looking at yourself? Have you been focused on yourself and not, others? Like, there's something about the healing that is important. Like, you need to really kind of think about your own specific healing journey and about how you're doing with that. And again, that call to potentially need to be brave. Another thing is that Neptune is in the critical 29th degree, and I've done a whole separate video on him. But it's funny about Saturn and Neptune, they don't exactly touch this year. They'll touch next year in 2025, and not actually in the sign of Pisces. It'll be in the sign of Aries. But they are riding near each other, and so they're just kind of together, upping this, trying to break through illusion, see through the facade factor. The other thing about the picture is that Mercury, the planet of communications, is going to be in Cancer. And that tends to make our communications and our thoughts operate on an inward level. So you might not necessarily be wanting to scream from the rooftops what you're doing, or, where you're deciding to put in your work, or how you're healing, or how you are, doing with the progress that you're making, or what else you need to do. Because remember, Saturn Station retrograde is about where you need to muscle up next, how you need to, what do you need to focus on in order to achieve the long-lasting results that the universe wants to help you gain. But the other thing is, in a very, very big positive, is that Mars, who is in Taurus, and he's in Taurus for most of the month of June, and he'll continue to be in Taurus as we go into July. Mars is making a really nice sextile with Venus, who's now in Cancer. And this is just like, reminds me, when I look at it, it just like love is around, so whatever might be difficult, wherever you might need to muscle up, because that's what Saturn stations usually, do for us. There's something about love. There's something about connectivity. There's something about, there's a benefit. There's a benefit in your relationships. There's a benefit in some of your connections. There's a benefit in maybe where you feel passionate, maybe where you're feeling, where some of your desires are. Like, there's something good. There's something good in this hard work story. So I do want you to take that, and as you prepare for your, next part of the Saturn journey, the second part of the year, and where you're going to muscle up, and where you're going to, feel your responsibility factor, and where you're going to show up for yourself, be brave for yourself. I just want you to know there's some support there in the back. There really is. And, try to lean into something that you can to fill your cup spiritually versus monetarily, because there's something about that, soul food. We all need a soul food of some kind. And I think that Saturn Station is also reminding us about that. All right, everybody, lots more information in your member horoscope. Good luck with where Saturn Station takes you.